The revolution that the world needs is a Christian revolution.
If you want a miracle, you've got to expect it to happen.
You are the recipients of God's grace and God's blessings, and you rejoice in that reality.
Welcome to Life Today Live. Randy Robinson here. Great to have you. There's a movie coming out I want to let you know about. It releases in theaters on August 2nd, so you got a little time here. Be prepared. Go out, find out where it's at in your area. And it features a lot of good actors. Kevin Sorbo, whom you probably know, is in it. We'll be talking to him in a little bit. But it also features a gentleman named Cuba Gooding Jr., whom I've been watching on film for a long time now. He's an Academy Award winner. He's also a stage Broadway actor, a Tony nominee. Very accomplished. And there's a side to him that I wasn't aware of and pleasantly surprised to learn. And so The Firing Squad is a film that involves faith. It's not, your kind of typical Christian film in the sense. I mean, it's based on a true story. Very interesting. So we're going to show you the trailer here in a little bit. But first, I want to welcome Cuba Gooding Jr. to Life Today Live. Mr. Gooding, great to have you on the program.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Tell me a little bit about The Firing Squad, and then we'll talk a little bit about you and what's going on in your life.
Yeah, right on. So Tim Shea, the writer, director, producer, had we had done a film earlier, actually a slave tale called Freedom. And so we had a relationship there. This was probably, I can't remember, mid-2000s, early to mid-2000s. And so he calls me up and he says, listen, I have this new project that the first one, Freedom, he only produced, but this one he's directing. And he wants to send it to me. And so he sent me the script. And it just hit me. It was one of those reads where it's about these three Americans who are caught up overseas in a foreign land, who get mixed up and imprisoned for drugs and ultimately judged. I mean, I don't want to give the movie away, but I mean, the title kind of tells it. And it was one of those things where the character that he wanted me to portray had found God in a way where it just hit home with me, in a way where you have to finally let go of what you think you know and allow God to drive you to a place of redemption, of confidence, of faith. And it was one of those things where it in my career, I seem to get movies always that are in the time of my life I'm ready for them. When I was a young break dancer and I was being harassed in Los Angeles in the drive-by shootings, I got Boys in the Hood. When my dad passed away and I was going through a dark part of a divorce and all this, The People versus O.J. Simpson. When my career had taken a lull and then all of a sudden I found success again, co-starring with Tom Cruise. I'd had new babies and just got married, Jerry Maguire. So this was another one of those things where in my darkest hours and in the times that I needed to rely on faith only and just let go and let God, the script came to me. And this is the story of The Firing Squad.
That's interesting. People that have watched you in films wouldn't necessarily know of your faith. What's your journey been like?
So, and I've told this story a couple of times, so forgive me if you heard it, but on this journey for this movie. But Mrs. McCraven was a woman that lived in Granada Hills. My parents were in the verge of separating, and a lot of times my sister and I would go to this one neighborhood house, this older woman who would let all the kids come and play and eat candy, but they had to read a Bible verse. That was the one demand that she did. And one day we were over there late. My mom came in and she was screaming and yelling. I'll never forget it. It was yesterday. And Miss McCraven brought her to the Lord. And I was too young to kind of understand what was going on. I just knew that this was a place we went to and have a good time. And then we just read a Bible verse. And one thing led to another. I finally gave my life to the Lord when I was probably 13, maybe a little older than that. And now, it's, she gave me 2 prayers that I say every day. And it's just been the thing that's been in my life. And it's funny, I read some statements in some of the press where they were like, Cuba found God in the firing squad. No, God never left me. I've always been with him my entire life. But it's been one of those things where, I'm God's warrior in that I'm an actor, and he chooses me to do these roles, some dark, some positive. And that's kind of how I've lived my life. I just, I wake up every day and say, thine will be done. And now it's time to take this journey.
How's that, some of the perception, and I think it's changed over the years, is that, Hollywood is not necessarily friendly to Christians or whatever. I know that's not entirely true. I know too many people out there. What's it been like for you working in that world?
It's the kind of thing that everybody always says. The non-believers or the people that are even atheists, they go, you got such an energy about you. You have such an energy. When I won the Oscar, everybody's like, was that stage? No,
Yeah.
That's the energy that I have. And I think that's where my energy is funneled through my faith. It just is. My sons will tell you, and I have a new and improved model of Mason Gooding, who starred in the Scream 5 and 6 movies and the Book Smart, and he's got a ton of movies and TV shows coming out. But he'll tell you that every Sunday when they're with me, my sons, and then eventually my daughter, who's 8 years younger than them, we go to church every Sunday. And that's our thing. And you got 6 days or whatever, but on Sunday we go to church. And I don't do it as much now because obviously they're grown and they have their own careers, but that set the foundation for them to be the men that they are. And I'm sure that the people that they work with don't know that they have that foundation, that strength that God has given them. But that was my job to instill that in them, and it's instilled in me. And I'm not a politician. I'm not I'm as much a sinner as the next guy as you can read, in all the lies that the tabloids tell and some of the things I put myself in dark positions. But my faith has never wavered, and here I am. So there you have it.
Actually, according to Hebrews, you are perfected in Christ, Cuba, and being sanctified, which is just bringing us into what God's made us as new creations. So,
my mama said, real gold is not gold without fire. So there you have it.
There you go. There you go. Have you had a lot of fire?
I woke up one morning, there was a headline, P. Diddy's staying at Cuba and some guy and some genital grab. I was like, all right, God, here we go on the next journey. There you go. There you have it. Sometimes waking up in the morning, it could be interesting watching the news, but again, I believe as long as you know who you are and why you are where you are, there's nothing the enemy can do to stop you. Mm-hmm. I'm on God's path right now, and I know it. I know that even when I found myself in handcuffs all over the press, I knew this is God's journey. I don't need to be anywhere, but I am right now. And this is where I am right now in this interview. And this is where, and then the next place I'll be, like I pray, God's will be done. You put me where you put me, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah. That's life for everybody,
It's life.
So on the firing squad,
yes.
And no spoilers. I always appreciate that. We'll watch the trailer here in a second. But what do you want when people go see the film? Kind of what are you hoping they walk away with? What's sort of your bottom line?
Well, usually when and I've done 97 something films, you hope that people leave with the intent, or at least some of the message that you try to get across.
Yeah.
Here, I don't have to hope. We've had, how many screenings have we had right now? We've had maybe 50, maybe less. I don't know. We've had so many, and the reactions are the same. Lights come up, tears, they walk out, and they say, and people have found the Lord in the audience.
Wow.
They've literally dedicated their life to the Lord in the audience. And I'm not saying that I hope people find Christ when they see this movie, but I hope, if anything, they find faith. They find that no matter how dark it is in your life, as long as you believe that there's something that's helping you, there's this old saying when there's 2 footsteps in the sand, And then the guy said, hey, Lord, when it got hard, there was only one footstep. Why did you leave me? He said, no, that's what I carried you. It's literally that idea that we are here for a reason, for a purpose. And if you fight that purpose, you're going to flounder and flounder. But once you release it, almost like when they say in rehab, you let go when you get to your darkest points, that's when the positive energy of life can help you. Yeah. So no matter what your faith is, no matter what you believe in, once you get to that place of reconstruction, then that's when the healing begins. And I think the people in this movie, based on this true story of these Americans, even at the darkest time, they never let go of their faith. They never gave up. And I think there's a lesson there, not just in America. It's all over the world. Yeah. Yeah. That people need to hear.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Let me just climb up a soapbox for a second. I'm really this tall.
What are you?
No, I'm kidding. I was on a soapbox. I climbed up.
You know, stay on it, man. Stay on it. Hey, so obviously you're somewhere on location, dressing room. You got a little graffiti on the wall. What's next for you? What are you working on?
So, well, for this until Firing Squad all over the country, August 2nd, theaters near you, and then we'll figure out streaming. But right now, it's a movie theater thing. And then we travel from here to Atlantic City, and then we just Atlanta, and then we go to the next city and the next city and the next.
So you're out promoting.
We're out promoting, yeah. And then I have another film coming out. This is another. I play an archangel in this, but this is a violent sci-fi movie, so you're gonna enjoy that one. That's Angels, but that's probably not till Christmas. So, but this Firing Squad is my passion right now.
I appreciate you sharing a little bit with us.
Yes.
Anything you want to add before I let you go? Did I miss anything?
I think you covered it.
Yeah. I think you got it. Well, I'll tell you what, let's let people take a look. This is the trailer for Firing Squad. Watch this, and we'll be right back with Kevin Sorbo.
Do you ever wake up and realize your life has no purpose?
Do I have a death wish? Morgan asked. Maybe I did. I thought this would be our final run ever. We had made millions and millions of dollars, but God had other plans.
Peter Lowe, the one-time drug dealer turned pastor, along with 2 others, will be executed at 12 midnight local time.
The next day, something strange happened. Someone came up to me and gave me this flyer about Jesus.
You can be in heaven or you can be in hell. The choice is yours.
We're gonna walk straight out of here, pretend to be the media.
This pathetic maggot got caught, tried to escape my prison. Nobody escapes my prison.
He's a changed person. He's a new man.
I found Christ in here, and he forgave me.
I found Christ too.
My name is Peter Lowe, and I will be executed in 2 hours. Why am I being executed, you ask?
Jesus is for free, and salvation is a gift. Do you believe in Jesus?
Friday, August 2nd, you can see the Firing Squad in theaters, so you will want to check that out. And now, another gentleman who stars in the film, one you probably know, Kevin Sorbo, is with us. Kevin, man, how you doing? Good to see you again.
Good. It's good to be. I'm overly busy right now, but it's okay. I can handle it.
No, I mean that's a good thing, is it not? I mean, you getting to do what you like to do, promoting films, making films. And what else going on?
You know, I got not only that movie coming out in August, Firing Squad. I also got the Reagan movie coming out. I starred in that along with Dennis Quaid. He plays the president. I play his pastor in it. I've got 3 documentaries coming out. We still got a little bit of work left on one. I got to go back to Israel for about a week. We'll see how that goes. And then I've got 5 movies in post-production right now.
Wow.
And I got 3 more lined up. So knock on wood, staying busy. I'm shooting back in my home state of Minnesota, a car racing movie. And then I'm trying to talk to the director. He lives here in Florida with me. And so I'm saying, why we got to go to California to shoot this movie? Let's shoot it here in Florida. So I try to avoid California. I escaped 5.5 years ago. And I miss where I lived. But I don't miss what they've done to that state. So I'm glad to be out of there.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, so, I mean, considering how busy you are and getting to do a lot of great projects, why the firing squad?
You know what? It was a great story, and I love true stories. And my character. I mean, he was a real guy. I mean, he was in Indonesia. He was surfing. Sees his girlfriend flirting on the beach. He gets a little crazy. He goes up there, fight starts, ends up killing the guy. Of course, he ends up getting arrested, and he's put on death row. And he's during the decades he was there, he found God and became a pastor. Went through everything to become a pastor and started, saving lives with not only inmates but the guards as well. And he was actually executed by firing squad in 2015, so it's pretty recent.
Yeah,
it's an amazing story of, he felt that it was a horrible way to end up in prison by murdering another human being, but that's what led him to God, and that's what led him to save many, many people. And he figured that was the road that destiny brought him on. And it's an interesting story. And he refused the blindfold at the end when he was facing the firing squad. He wanted to look all those guards that he got to know very well during his many, many years in prison, and just told them that he loved them all, and God loves them and forgives them.
Wow.
And he was shot.
Where did you guys shoot that? I'm curious.
Initially, they were going to go all the way to the Philippines. There was a prison that wasn't in use anymore there. But Tim Che, our director, found a prison just north of me, about an hour and a half north of me, near Port St. Lucie. And it was creepy because it had been abandoned for years. And it was still sitting there. And I guess it's been used before for whatever reasons. But I walked through the prison when no one was in there. They were filming outside a different scene that I wasn't in. And I just walked in there, and it was like walking into a haunted house. I mean, you could almost feel the ghosts that were still in that place in a way. And I walked in and sat in one of the, my gosh, it can't be more than 9 feet by 6 feet, these cubicles. These guys had to share their space in, and these just metal bunk beds, And I said, that was enough to scare me straight. I didn't need to have some hardcore prisoner telling me, you're going down the wrong road. Screaming. That was enough to me going, holy smoke! You need to bring these young, teenagers in here and see what, just look at this and just imagine yourself being here for 20, 30 years or something. And it was interesting. I really think I just did a lot of ads for the movie yesterday. I shot them with the director again, Tim Che, and we shot a lot of promotional ads. We're going to do a altar call at the end of the movie. Pretty much what Willie Robertson did in my movie, God's Not Dead, when he came on at the very end of the movie and told everybody, text everybody, no, God's not dead. They're going to do that with this movie, which is a great way to sort of, you already got that audience in there and telling them, well, look, I hope you've accepted Christ, and you haven't, this is the time to do it. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. The release coming out August 2nd, I believe, is the date they're shooting for.
Yep.
And I've got 7 different ads, so they're going to start pounding them on through cable TV and all those kind of places. So it should be. We're hoping for a big opening. It's a good movie with a great message.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're watching this, do go to the opening, because that sets the tone. That keeps films in the theater longer when you do that, and supports in a way that just catching it at home later or whatever doesn't give it the same support. And I do think this type of thing is important. Just the whole theme, a murder being redeemed. I mean, this is the gospel in a nutshell. And this is the kind of thing that you obviously have really given your life to do. Just, what are you seeing when people, I know people come up to you in random places and they're like, I saw this movie. Hope, in a few months, I saw the firing squad and I gave my life to God. I mean, that's a unique ministry, but also a fulfillment because you get to do what you love, and yet you also get to see lives changed.
Well, it really started 14 years ago for me. A friend of mine by the name of Dallas Jenkins is doing a little thing called The Chosen right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
He came to me with a script and said, "Oh, take a look at it." His kids are roughly my age, my kids' ages, and his wife's friends with my wife. And so I read the script and I called him up and I said, "Who's playing Pastor Ben?" He said, "Well, I got, I'm looking out to this guy. I said, no, I'm playing it." And he said, "Dude, I can't afford you." He said, "This is a very low budget movie." And I said, "Dallas, I don't care. Pay me what the minimum is that they're paying on a low ultra budget SAGs, because he told me it was a union movie." So I said, "I got to play his character." And the movie's called What If. And if people have not seen What If, but they saw God's Not Dead, What If is a better movie. It's plain and simple. And I can say that without offending God's Not Dead writers because they wrote What If as well.
Okay.
So it's the same writers, Chuck and Carrie, and they did an amazing job with it. And they'll even admit to me, they'll say, "Yeah, it is a better movie." And that's not taking anything from God's Not Dead because it was a phenomenal movie. But it was what you just said earlier is you need to go out and support these independent movies opening weekend. God's Not Dead was a $2 million budget and it made $140 million. And that was all word of mouth. I mean, all word of mouth. And that's what we need because we have to compete against Hollywood's $300 million movies. And they have a $100 million advertising budget so they can throw the trailer on every football game, every soap opera, every sitcom. I mean, you get inundated. And that's what makes you go see these movies. So we need people to support this. And you said it right when you said people come up to me. I get people all the time. This has become my church. This has become my way to harvest because we're called to harvest. And it's been a godsend. I mean, I've done since 2010, I've shot at least 60 movies. Yeah. Not all of them are faith-based, but 90% of them are, or family-friendly, I like to say. Yeah. I hate saying faith-based because atheism is a faith, pretty strong faith to believe in absolutely nothing. But I get through the Sorbo Studios. Please go to sorbostudios.com and sign up. We'll keep people up to date what's going on with my wife and I because we got a lot of good things coming down the pipeline. But through that, we get people all the time saying, "I saw your movie. I'm an atheist or I'm an agnostic. I'll tell you, it was really pretty cool movie." Or I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, "I became a Christian because of your movies."
That's amazing.
And, it's incredible. And it's a road that I wasn't planning on going down, but I've always been a Christian. And so it's always been with me. Hollywood actually, I'm the first cancel culture victim. Hollywood actually booted me out. My longtime agent, ICM, and my manager, they said, "We can't work with you anymore." Because what you're posting and what you're saying, I'm posting the truth. I don't post hate and anger. Right. I post the truth. Facebook took me down for posting the truth. I lost 4 million followers. I'm still on Twitter. I'm on Truth. I'm on all these other ones as well. But to me, I laugh at Hollywood for doing that because they're the ones who scream for tolerance and freedom of speech. But as you know, it's all a one-way street. Yeah. The hypocrisy is so blatant on them that it's almost laughable. But this has become my battlefield. This is my mission now to put up movies that Hollywood used to do. They used to have movies that had hope and love and redemption and laughter in them. They don't do that anymore. They post anger, hate, divisiveness, and murder and sex. That's what they post.
And we're not sure what gender the people having sex are. So.
Oh, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what we're doing right now in the world. I mean, it is. I 5 years ago never saw this coming. I saw things changing. The last 10 years, but where we are now is just crazy. Insanity. And you got college students saying they're pro Hamas. Well, I think we should put our tax dollars to better use instead of fighting wars we don't win and waste our money on it. We don't change anything like the last one for 20 years. I think maybe we should spend money and giving these people one-way tickets to this utopia that they want to live in.
Yeah. Another thing that's changed to shift us back towards the filmmaking is the whole film industry. You've been around long enough. I mean, you were around. You're doing stuff pre-internet days. How has? I'm just curious how it works for you now because I mean, the cost of production has come way down. Distribution is completely different. The way we communicate, you mentioned the social medias. I mean, it's a whole different world out there, and I perceive, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Christians have been able to take advantage of this dispersal of power and communication, and carve out some niches so that films like what Sorbo Studios does, Firing Squad coming up, can reach an audience. How's it shifted for you? What have you seen?
Well, it's interesting because you just mentioned you can shoot high quality visual effects, high quality films on a much lower budget now, just because of the unbelievable equipment that's available and cameras and things like that you can just have. You can have an iPhone in your hand and you can do amazingly clear footage. There's a lot of people that want to work in the industry on both sides of the camera. The independent world has really exploded. The Irwin brothers do great stuff. The Kendrick brothers. There's a lot of good product out there that people want. There's 80 million homes in America that want what we're doing. It's amazing to me that you look at all these other networks and cable outlets and stuff, how their ideology is so absolutely warped and crazy that they're willing to forego that audience, and they are a capitalist business. They still want to make money and make their stockholders happy. So it's very strange to me that they're not doing more of it. But there is a turn. I think there's a tipping point right now, and I think they're starting to wake up a little bit, and they're realizing that the audience is out there. When they want to do a movie like Noah again, next time hire at least a Jewish director that believes in the Old Testament. Don't hire an atheist director.
Right.
And I don't. It's just. It's weird. It's weird that they seem to not. I mean, Disney's lost well over $1 billion last year. The conspiracy theorist in me, unfortunately, believes that our tax dollars are being paid back from Washington, D.C. under the table back to them to keep them afloat and keep the message going. And I bring up Roe v. Wade. It didn't take many years after Roe v. Wade for everybody to look at abortion as like just getting, having the flu. Even though it's murdering a child. So to me, they want to make this whole transgender thing, this whole 78 billion kinds of pronouns and verbs and whatever genders are out there, and make it normal. And that's what they do. They do it, and they're pushing it harder and harder all the time. It's Crazyville, what we're living in. It's Crazyville. And, men saying they want to race women in sports. This is nuts, and parents need to stand up and fight back to that too. They really do.
Yeah.
Shame on you parents for letting your daughters do this. Pull them out of the track high school, have your own high school meet somewhere else. This is for girls only. And where are the feminists? Where are they not up in arms about what they're doing? And you're voting for homecoming queens and woman of the year to people that have had sex changes. It's just I don't know. I think my last movie that came out in theaters last year, I had 2 movies I directed. One's called Left Behind, Rise of the Antichrist, based on the Left Behind books from Tim LaHaye and Jerry Jenkins. I think God and Jesus are looking down, and they're going to leave us all behind. They're shaking their head and say, forget it. There's no hope there. But, I think it's up to us to help turn that tide, and people have to not be afraid to stand up, because fear is an amazing weapon, and governments of every level love using fear to control their lives. Yeah. We need to wake up the lions. The sheep are going to be sheep. There are lions out there, but they're afraid. They come up to me on every movie set I do and say, thanks for being a voice for us. And I go, dude, be a voice for yourself. Stop being afraid. So
Yeah. Well, and I appreciate your fearlessness, right? All right, so again, August 2nd, Friday, August 2nd, The Firing Squad in theaters. Take some friends, make an evening, make a weekend of it. Go see it in theaters. Last word to you, Kevin. I appreciate you being here. Last word about the movie or about.
Hey, you know what? It is a great movie. Take a friend. Here's the thing: you want to bring, you want to ask a friend who's maybe not a believer, he's agnostic, atheist, whatever it may be. You say, you want to come to my church? There's church people there. I don't want to go to your church. But you know what? You invite them to a movie, it's a whole different thing. It's an easy thing to do. Just invite them to come along and see the movie. And I've had many people walk up to me in hotel lobbies, airports, whatever, and say, look, I'm not a believer the way you are, but I kind of like the movies you're doing because there's a good message in them, and they appreciate it.
I love it. Appreciate what you're doing. Appreciate you taking the time to talk about it. Kevin, appreciate you being here with us, and love to just keep up with everything that you're doing.
And August 2nd, go to firingsquadfilm.com. Firingsquadfilm.com. You see a trailer for the movie, a lot more information about it. Check it out. Bring your family, bring your friends, buy popcorn.
Do it, and hit that share button. If you haven't liked, followed, or subscribed to Life Today Live, I'd invite you to do that. You'll get more notifications about great interviews just like this one today. Appreciate you being here. We'll see you next time on Life Today Live.
Believe on the God who for Christ's sake justifies the ungodly.